The Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the weekly internet broadcast Undercountry Music, which features music from great country artists you won't hear on mainstream radio, as well as a roundup of the most interesting country music news of the week without all the fluff. This program you're listening to right now contains only the news portion of the show. To listen and subscribe to the full weekly episode containing the music and interviews, please visit undercountry.com or simply subscribe to the Undercountry Music Podcast on iTunes. Let's get into it. I can attest right here and right now that there absolutely is a market for crap, and there's no better representation of crap than mainstream country radio that keeps putting out the same song over and over and over and over because it's time for the Undercountry Music News. Corey, are you ready to get into the Undercountry Music News?
Yeah, I think I am. This should be interesting.
Yes, it should. And for those of you just joining us on the talk show format, just so you know, the Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the larger internet broadcast / podcast Undercountry Music, which you can find, since you're probably getting about a half hour's worth of the show right here, you can get the full hour plus version over at undercountrymusic.com. And for those of you just checking in with us here, I am hanging out with Corey Koehler, country artist from Minnesota, and he's telling me all about his new album. We just played a song, and you can hear all that if you go over to undercountrymusic.com. Anyway, Corey, say hello to all the people out there in talk show land.
Hello, talk show land people. How do you do?
They can't answer you.
Well, I can feel them.
Well, Corey's got a brand new album out. It's called FM, and he's been sitting here yakking with me about it, and he's doing something kind of unique where he kind of introduces all the songs on there as though he's a radio DJ, and you can get it for free over at planetcorey.com. You can get the whole album as one big, long MP3, and he'll send that to you, won't you?
That's right.
All right. Well, we're going to get into the Undercountry Music News at this time. Have you listened to the show before, Corey? Are you familiar with the Undercountry Music News?
I've listened to the show, but I didn't listen long enough to get the Undercountry Music. I'm sorry. I'm being honest with you.
Oh, that's okay. Believe me, I look at my statistics. I see how long it is before most people punch out, and it's usually about 10 minutes into the show. They go, what's this crap? I'm out of here. This ain't no Brantley Gilbert song. I can't keep talking about this because we got to get into the Undercountry Music News. Here's what the Undercountry Music News is. Undercountry Music News, I go on to Google each and every week. I put in the search term Country Music News, and whatever shows up on the front page of Google, whatever websites show up, I check them out. And most of them have a bunch of People Magazine garbage, national and and it's a lot of them. What it is, it's the artists and the artist management send them their press releases about whatever stupid thing they cook up out of their head, and these websites just put it on their pages as though it's news, and they call it news. And I mean, I'm talking, crap like Miranda Lambert's new navel piercing, or or where else does Brantley Gilbert like to shave? Things like that. Oh,
nice. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I was checking out the Brantley Gilbert video the other day for Bottoms Up, and I noticed they're really trying to get people to call him BG, because there was like a girl in the video she goes, when they're doing all the bad acting at the beginning, she's going, "Oh, hey, BG, you ready for the big moonshine run?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then she walks off, and then another girl comes up right away, and you can tell they're trying to get everyone to call him BG. She goes, "You ready to go, BG?" It's like okay, whatever, But anyway, I just thought that was kind of hokey. But anyway, where was I? I got lost in a Brantley Gilbert fog there. Oh yes, on each of these websites, about 8 out of 10 stories are garbage on most of them. And so what I do, so people don't have to sift through all this BS, What I do is I shovel the pile of BS for you, and I put it in my filtering screen, and I shake it, and I shake it, and I shake it, because I know that much like an African diamond mine worker, that these places have swallowed little gems. And so when I sift all the poop out, a lot of time I slice it up real fine. It's a stinky job, by the way, but every once in a while I'll find that one little diamond of country music news, and that is what I hose off and bring to the listeners of Under Country Music News every single week.
All right. Let's do it.
And that's what there is one other thing. Were you planning on going for a career in mainstream country radio by any chance, Corey?
Was I?
Mm-hmm.
No, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at, honestly,
I'm just letting you know that after this segment, you'll have absolutely no career in mainstream country radio or country music. Just preparing you, just so you can hit the eject button now, if you so choose. So.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a trick question.
No, are you strapping in for the ride? You ready to put your career in peril?
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Oh yes. One thing I forgot to mention. Oh yes, the peril. One unlucky website each and every week who does the worst job of bringing Under Country Music News or country music news gets rewarded with the Under Country Music News wet belch of the week. That's right. And here we go. Over at CMT. CMT sucks as usual. Not one single news story, just a bunch of press releases, as I explained earlier, from top artists and their management companies. Now that's pretty low-hanging fruit. It would be so easy to give CMT the belch every single week. Every once in a while, like once a month, they surprise me and they come out with one or two stories that I can bring you. But not this week. It's all country crap music television. So there you go. Over at countryweekly.com. And by the way, you ever check in with CMT over there, Corey?
No. Usually if I'm going to look into country music, I go to Saving Country Music. That's usually where I like to go, because then I listen to Triggerman rant kind of like you are right now about mainstream country.
Oh, Saving Country Music.
You ever go there?
Is that a podcast?
No, that's a website. You would love that. The way you're talking right now, you would love that. They just sit there and debate this stuff all day long.
I would love to check that out. I think the only reason why it's not on my radar is just because I'm way too lazy, and I just go to the front page of Google and I report what I find there, and then I just complain and bitch and piss and moan about not being able to find good stuff.
Hey, if it wasn't for them, I would never would have found out about Corb Lund. You know what Corb Lund is?
Not a clue.
No? Okay. Well, check him out, too. Anyway, just go to that website. You'll totally get it. They'll sit there and break down stuff like whether C.W. McCall is rap country or not, They get pretty deep. So anyway.
All right. Anyway, we're going to move on to countryweekly.com. Ray Price's final recordings are going on sale. Now, many of you may recall that he did pass away a few months back. And the new, and I would assume final, Ray Price album, but, they have a habit of digging things out of the archives every once in a while and repackaging, so I'm not going to say final album. But anyway, this last Ray Price album is called Beauty Is, and it includes duets with Vince Gill and Martina McBride. Now, one hope that I have is that they do not use the picture that was used on this article over at Country Weekly, because it looks like something out of Reader's Digest. I mean, it's a black and white close-up with really boring fonts. It's like, Times New Roman, or something that you'd find in like Word or something, for the lettering, and it sort of looks like he doesn't have his bottom dentures in. I would think they'd dress up his final album a little bit better than that, you know. But then again, you got to consider the audience. So my question for you, Corey, is how much time do you spend with the Reader's Digest?
0. I mean, I used to read it when I was at my parents' house because it was on the toilet. But other than that, no, I don't ever pick it up, or I don't even think I've seen one in a while. So probably 0 is the answer to that question.
Yeah, the Reader's Digest was kind of a toilet read, wasn't
it? Yep.
You could read like all of Jaws in one poop. I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, when you can get your entire, you know, huge thick book, and you can boil it down into one what would you call it, excrematory experience. I mean, there you go. One fecal passing, then you've really got it. That's talent. That's kind of like what I do here on the Undercountry Music News, isn't it?
Well, you'll be the judge of that.
The Undercountry Music News is the internet broadcast perfectly designed for your toilet listening pleasure. And I'm sticking to that. All right, over at GAC, the only thing they got is the only thing that usually... Oh, actually, they do have a couple of things. All right, good. I don't have to just rely on the recipe this week. But they do have a great recipe from Krystal Keith in the kitchen. It's Krystal's recipe for caramel buttercream to top your cupcakes with.
Sounds good.
I know. I'm saying. Do you do a lot of baking in Minnesota?
There's baked goods everywhere in Minnesota. There's nothing else to do in the wintertime besides eat. So we all get fat, eating a lot of good food. That's what happens, man. It's everywhere. And then you got to work it all off when the spring hits. So it's kind of a vicious cycle.
Yeah, but that tough.
Unless you're into like skiing or something.
Yeah, I guess so. But me, I'm into warmth personally. So my gas and electric bills in the wintertime are just, you don't even want to see them. Or my wife's even worse, though. She cranks the heat, though. I can, I'll put on a sweater or something. But anyway, caramel buttercream, top your cupcakes with. Now, they got another story over there at GAC. And it is Country Music Hall of Fame member Mel Tillis. You know, the stuttering country guy. I think he actually got over his stuttering, didn't he? Like a couple decades ago, he finally got over the stuttering thing. Unlike me.
I think I saw him when I was a really little kid. He came through my town. But I was barely old enough to remember stuff, so...
Yeah, well, back in those days, he stuttered.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, back in those days, he stuttered like crazy, like when he was in the Cannonball Run movie. Or what is it, Smokey and the Bandit? I think it's Cannonball Run, yeah. Well, he's recovering from heart surgery right now. He went in for heart surgery about a week ago. And apparently, he's recovering just fine, though. And he had this surgery in Nashville just last week. And Mel's daughter, Pam Tillis, has issued a statement assuring fans that her dad is doing just fine. And that is some good news. And I'm very happy that I get to report some good news because I certainly don't want to belch over a guy with a heart condition.
Yeah.
That would be in bad taste, wouldn't it?
I think so.
I mean, I'm not above it, but, I like Mel Tillis, so I don't want to belch at Mel, And speaking of bad taste, here we go. Tasteofcountry.com. It's another BS fake news roll filled with stupid-ass press releases about the hairdos of the stars. I'm serious. I think when I looked, and I'm not looking at it right this second, but I think when I took my look over there was like 2 or 3 stories about country stars' hairdos, and they were all unrelated to each other. It wasn't even like, an expose, or like a feature on hairdos or anything. It was just that crappy. So you know what we do when things are just that crappy?
No, I don't. What?
The Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week goes to Taste of Country. You can taste... What did I have for lunch today? I had I had a hangover burger from Jonathan's Grill. And that's like a big 3rd-pound burger with a fried egg on top. And I had him leave the yolk runny so I could smash it down. And a little bacon and some barbecue sauce and mayonnaise. And I had some french fries with that. So if you're getting a whiff across the nation and across the world, it just might be the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. So now you've experienced it, Corey. Was it everything you dreamed it would be?
Maybe better. I don't know. I was expecting the worst. You said it was going to ruin my career or whatever, but I don't know. It really, it didn't really feel threatened at all. So
yeah, well, you know, fine. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of a paper tiger, but one thing I can do is I can kick this show right over to theboot.com. Because over at theboot.com, we're going to circle right back around to Krystal Keith again. Yes, the country cookist. She has just landed an opening slot on a major concert tour. And who do you think she's opening for?
Brantley Gilbert.
No! I think Brantley Gilbert's an opening act himself. She's opening for Toby Keith, her dad. And I have no idea how she landed that gig. Can't imagine.
Toby Keith.
Yeah, Krystal Keith's his daughter.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I guess a professional would have mentioned that.
I'm like, Toby Keith, Krystal Keith. I don't know. Yeah. So there you go. I wasn't paying attention to that.
No, that's okay. You know, I mean, I punched out of this show like a half hour ago, so this is just my mouth running at this point. My brain is downstairs eating braca flour. Speaking of braca flour, that's a nice segue into NashvilleGab.com, where they're talking about crappy pop country female artists getting angry. Getting angry! You do not want to get a crappy pop country female country artist angry. I got to tell you. Because they're angry. Do you know why they're angry, Corey? You know why they're angry, why they're raging, why they got the steam coming out of their ears right now?
I don't. Can I guess?
It's because they aren't...
They're being
they're not getting the same amount of traction on crappy pop country radio as the crappy pop country male artists are, otherwise known as quote unquote bro country. They don't like the fact that bro country has taken over the airwaves with their drop tailgates and their fishing by the river, you know, and jumping up on the toolbox and rolling like that. They're like they're not digging it. I mean, they don't care, but it's pushing them. It's pushing the ladies off the airways, and that's what's pissing them off.
There's probably a lot of people out there that would switch places with them if they're that unhappy. I mean, there's a lot of people that can't even get a whiff of mainstream anything. So they should be glad they're getting anything. So
tell me, Corey, how has the crappy female pop country music famine affected you?
I don't know. I didn't know there was one, so I would say it hasn't affected me.
Well, apparently there's a real lack of crappy pop female country out there, and damn it, someone's got to do something about it. Because right now, the gender scales are tilted, and you know what happens in that case? We'll all be like holding hands in jail. But when you've got, I mean, let's put Kacey Musgraves has exploded. Taylor Swift, one of the top grossing acts of the year. When you look at Carrie Underwood, amazingly top grossing act. Martina McBride. And the one really leading the charge here is from Sugarland, Jennifer Nettles. These are wildly, wildly successful people over here saying that female country artists can't get a break. I'll tell you what, you want a break? Why don't you sing about something other than "Ooh, I Love You, Baby, That Boy Is So Cute," or "I'm So Heartbroken You Left Me"? Get a damn new subject matter. Do something interesting. Maybe people will give it a spin and give a crap about it. Just a thought. Hello? Have we ruined your career yet?
Nope, I'm here.
All right. Over at Country Standard Time. Country Standard Time, Hunter Hayes will attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the most concerts played in multiple cities in a 24-hour period this May to help end child hunger. I gotta tell you, whenever my kid, gets a little rumbly in his tumbly, the first thing I do is jet right out of the house and go play a bunch of shows.
What does it say? How many shows is he going to do?
He is going.
Out of curiosity.
Hunter Hayes is going to kick off the Hunter Hayes 24-hour road race to end child hunger, sponsored in part by ConAgra Foods, and he is going to do 10 shows in 10 cities in 24 hours. Here's Hunter Hayes' Blitzkrieg schedule for May 9th and May 10th. All right? 8 a.m., New York on Good Morning America. 9:15 a.m., Boston, Massachusetts. 10:30 a.m., Worcester, Massachusetts at the Palladium upstairs doing an acoustic show. 1:45 p.m., Providence, Rhode Island at Lupo's Heartbreak Hotel. 4:15 p.m., New London, Connecticut at the Guard Arts Center. 6:45 p.m., New Haven, Connecticut, Toad's Place. 9 p.m., Stamford, Connecticut at the Palace Theater. 11:30 p.m., South Orange, New Jersey, South Orange Performing Arts Center. And then into the wee hours, 2 a.m. at Asbury Park, New Jersey at the Stone Pony, doing an acoustic show. And then 5 a.m. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Trocadero. And that is going to be his Blitzkrieg. I'm imagining he's got to be jumping on a plane in there somewhere, because if you're trying to get from New York City to Boston from an 8 a.m. performance to make a 9:15 performance, now you got to keep in mind he's actually got the time to perform there as well and then get to his vehicle. He ain't driving. I'm thinking maybe he's got a chopper on top of the building and they're just going to lift off from there. That's got to be what he's doing.
I don't know. That's a tough gig there, man. That's going to be some work. I really think that, because just the travel alone is going to kick your ass, and then you got to get out there and put on a big happy smile. Like after you've been out there, you put, about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you got to perform for people. You're probably not feeling it, so.
I'm gonna guess
real work begins.
I'm gonna guess this Good Morning America show is gonna be like one song and out. They're gonna chat with him a little bit before a.m. They're gonna chat with him a little bit before a.m. 8 a.m. He's gonna play the song right at 8 a.m. and go to the top of the building, jump in a chopper, and that's gonna be it on his way to Boston. Anyway, over at Country Music is Love, Toby Keith and Brad Paisley will be appearing on the upcoming Doobie Brothers album. Yeah, they've done Smoked Weed with Willie, and now it's on to the Doobie Brothers. Yeah, baby. Take it to the head. Take it to here, dude. I'm going to pass it through the phone to you. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how we do it here on Undercountry Music News. Oh, one more to check in with. Nashville Country Club. They might have news but I can't look at it because they got all these crazy carousels going different directions back and forth, and I can't even look at the website more than 5 seconds. But for some ungodly reason, it's on the front page, Google, and you can go try to look at this monstrosity. I don't know what the hell you call it, but someone's got to redesign that damn website. But anyway, this has been your Undercountry Music News. All right, Corey Koehler hanging out with me here. We're going to send away our talk show formats, but before we do, tell the people where they can find your music and get in touch with you who are out there in talk show land before we let them go.
Well, you can find me at planetcorey.com. Or if you just Google my name, you're going to see all kinds of options because I'm kind of an internet marketing geek and I got stuff everywhere. So I'm on pretty much almost every social network that matters anyway.
And so, the spelling of his name, just so you know, is Coreykoehler. I got that correct, right?
That's correct.
Well, go look up Corey Koehler. Corey Koehler, I'm sorry. Look, I'm doing, I got faucets on the brain here. And go check out his new music. He's doing some really, really cool stuff, and he's got a really cool, unique sound. All right. Bye-bye, Talk Show Land people. Thank you for listening to the Undercountry Music News. The Undercountry Music News is just a small excerpt of the weekly, hour-long internet broadcast Undercountry Music, where I, Neal Smith, not only round up the week in country music news and put my own spin on it, but I also play music and have great interviews by lesser-known original country acts, the kind that you won't hear on mainstream country radio. If you're thirsting for that, get on over to undercountry.com where you can listen and subscribe. You can also subscribe via iTunes to Undercountry Music. Thanks so much. Stay under, stay country.